So this is episode number 2 of our dive into small Oklahoma towns that are going to be not too far from Oklahoma City. Last week, we talked about some great choices. We talked about the Village, which is pretty much in the heart of Oklahoma City. We talked about Piedmont, we talked about Guthrie, and we talked about Cashin. This week, we're going to talk about Arcadia, which is where I'm at right now. We're also going to talk about Jones, Choctaw, and Harrah. And next week, we're going to end this series with the Tri-City area, which is going to be Tuttle, Newcastle, and Blanchard. So if you're familiar with my channel, we've talked about Arcadia quite a bit. Arcadia is home to the Round Barn, which is right behind me. On the bottom level, there is a lot of Oklahoma history and local history, which is pretty cool. There's also a scavenger hunt for kids, so it gives them something to do. And believe it or not, you can actually walk inside the Round Barn. And I'm telling you, this place is oddly constructed, but it's also amazing all at the same time. In fact, let me show you the ceiling. It actually looks like an inverted bowl or a basket. It's pretty crazy. It's also home to Route 66, which of course you can still travel on. And it's also home to Pop's Diner, which is a great spot if you're traveling along Route 66. Arcadia also has a few restaurants. There's a pizza place. There's a place called the Chicken Shack, which I've actually been to. I went there a couple of weeks ago. It's okay. You know, a lot of people like it, but I don't think it's anywhere close to Aishin's Chicken in Arcadia. So if I had to drive 20, 25 minutes to go get chicken from my house, I'd rather go to Aishin's than the Chicken Shack. But it's not bad. It's not bad. Now, when you do research on Arcadia, according to Google, the population is just a couple of hundred people. But in my opinion, that is 100% wrong. There are more than 100 to 200 people that actually live here in the town of Arcadia. But the thing about Arcadia is it's more than just a town. It's actually also an area, okay? And that's because of Lake Arcadia, which is a very popular place to hang out here in the Oklahoma City metro area. And because of the lake, when I reference the Arcadia area, I'm not just referencing the town, I'm referencing the whole entire area. So when it comes to Arcadia, the area, it's pretty much going to be everything that is just east of I-35 in between Memorial Road and Waterloo. That's what a lot of people are going to consider Arcadia around here. And the homes in this area are going to have an Edmond address, it's going to have a Jones address, or it's going to have an Arcadia address. So again, Arcadia is not just this small town, it's really an area. But no matter how you slice it, in my opinion, the Arcadia area is pretty much just an extension of Edmond, which for a lot of people, Edmond is the #1 suburb in the Oklahoma City metro area. And the reason why I say that is because Lake Arcadia is actually governed by the city of Edmond. The school district that the kids go to that live in this area, it's going to be Edmond Public Schools. Arcadia does not have its own school district. So if you're going to be living in the Arcadia area, good chances are you're going to go to Edmond Public Schools, which again is one of the best school districts in the state of Oklahoma, if not the best. Now, with that being said, again, don't get me wrong, Arcadia technically does have its own city government, has its own police department. But again, it's pretty much just an extension of Edmond. And this is why Arcadia is a popular place to move to. When it comes to housing, you can buy a house here in the town of Arcadia, which is going to be a modest homes, a lot of older homes that are going to be built in the 60s, 70s, early 80s. But when you talk about the Arcadia area, it is a sea of new construction that is all over the place. And the main reason why people want to live in smaller towns here in Oklahoma is they want land. And when it comes to land, you can kind of get that in Arcadia. There are plenty of places around here that are going to have 1 acre lots, half-acre lots, quarter-acre lots are extremely popular in this area. The reality is this, people who live in the Arcadia area, it's for people that want to be close to Edmond, but they want to kind of feel like they're living off the beaten path. They kind of want to feel like they're living in a rural area, but in reality, they really want to live someplace that's minutes away from everything that Edmond has to offer. So Arcadia is kind of one of those areas, and I talked about it before in the last video. A lot of times people need something that is going to be the best of both worlds. If you're a couple and, maybe one of you guys wants land, you want to live off the beaten path, you want trees, you want to feel like you're living close to nature, you can get that in Arcadia. But if you're someone that needs a massage, you're someone that needs to go play some golf, you need some new highlights, need a new handbag, need a new golf club, Edmond's right around the corner. And the homes in Arcadia are going to be in various price points. You can find some homes that are going to be, just over 300,000. But in all honesty, a lot of the homes in the Arcadia area are going to be, closer to, $500,000 and up. Also, there are a ton of really big homes. I guess you would consider them mansions in the Arcadia area, especially hidden behind the trees. There are some fantastic upscale neighborhoods that are out this way. But I'll put it to you this way. If Edmond was Gotham City, Arcadia is where Batman would live. Arcadia is definitely a Batcave type area. So again, Arcadia is really for people that want all the benefits of Edmond, but they also want to feel like they're living in a rural area. They also want to feel like they're living in a small town. But again, your kids are going to go to Edmond Public Schools. So again, you kind of get the best of both worlds. You can get rural living, but at the same time, you're going to get all the benefits of living in Edmond. Another community that is on the east side of the metro is going to be Jones. Jones is a population of about 3,000 people. And even though it's only like 8 miles from Arcadia, and probably around 20 miles from Edmond and 30 miles from downtown Oklahoma City, Jones just has a different feel to it. Jones really feels like a small town. In my opinion, Jones just has a much more blue collar feel to it. It's what people in Oklahoma would say, it's more of a cowboy up community. You know what I mean? There's a livestock auction here. The school's mascot is the Longhorns. You can definitely feel the presence of a history of agriculture here in Jones. There are a couple of small diners, a Dollar General, the usual suspects when it comes to a small Oklahoma town. In fact, I actually ate at one of the diners here, got an omelet. It was actually really, really, really good. So if you're in Jones, I definitely suggest you check it out. There's also a hardware store downtown, of course, and a Sonic, because every small town in Oklahoma has a Sonic. Why? Because Sonic was founded here in Oklahoma. But the most important thing about Jones is that it's actually home to Blue and Gold sausage, okay, which is some of the greatest breakfast sausage in the world, okay? If you watch this channel, you know how much I love breakfast food. And I'm telling you this, Blue and Gold sausage could be the best. And the thing about Blue and Gold, you can't buy it at the grocery store. You got to buy it either here at the main office, or you have to get it from a school fundraiser, okay? I'm telling you. Don't be surprised if your kids are selling Blue and Gold sausage when you move here and someone buys like 10 rolls. And don't be surprised if that person is me. But again, Jones, as being so close to the Oklahoma City Metro, again, it's just a totally different vibe. With all that being said, there are a lot of new homes going on in Jones because people are kind of migrating out this way. Again, the east side of I-35 is extremely popular. And the cool thing about Jones is it actually has its own school district. So if you're someone that's looking for a small community that's close to Edmond, that's close to, Oklahoma City, Jones is a good spot, and because you're going to get those smaller schools when it comes to Jones. And even though Jones has its own school district, there is a section of Jones that actually feeds into Edmond Public Schools. So if you're someone that's looking for, again, quarter acre, full acre lots, you can kind of get them out here in Jones. And then there are sections that's also going to feed into Edmond Public Schools. So you can kind of get the best of both worlds. You know, you can get your kids going to one of the best school districts in the state, but you're also living in a more smaller, blue collar, rugged community. With that being said, a lot of those homes, though, that are technically in Jones are, you know, 700, 800,000, you know, some are going to be $500,000 and up. So a lot of those homes are going to actually kind of feed more into the luxury bracket in that area. But you can find a house in Jones that's going to be closer to this community, and your kids are going to go to Edmond Public Schools. So if you're looking for a spot that is going to be a little bit more posh, but you're still getting land, which a lot of you guys are looking for, then I would say the west side of Jones is a great location. If you are looking for a community that's a little bit more blue collar, maybe even leans further conservative wise, then I would say living closer to Jones proper would be a good spot for you too. So another great small community that is within 30 miles of downtown Oklahoma City. In fact, it's nearly exactly 30 miles. It's going to be Harrah, which is going to be, again, right here in eastern Oklahoma County. When it comes to Harrah, it has a population of nearly 7,000 people. It's going to be just east of Choctaw, which is also another fantastic city that we're going to mention in just a few minutes. When it comes to Harrah, it has the quaint downtown. Going to niche.com, the schools are B. And when you get to Harrah, you can just instantly feel the presence of being a small Oklahoma town. You know, there's grain elevators. There is, you know, local businesses all along Main Street. The school mascot is the Panthers. And when you walk along downtown Harrah, you can see paw prints, you know, pretty much everywhere you walk. Again, that's the kind of community it is. The type of community that's going to support the local high school. You know, it's the type of community where, you know, everyone's going to a playoff game if they make it to state. You know, it's that type of place. And in all honesty, Harrah seems like a pretty cool place to live. The thing about Harrah is, I think it gets lost in the shuffle of places to live in the Oklahoma City metro area is because, once again, it's on the east side of the metro. Unlike Jones, that kind of has the connection with Edmond along with Arcadia, same thing. Harrah doesn't have that connection. The nearest biggest city to Harrah is going to be Midwest City, which is just west of here. Midwest City is home to Tinker Air Force Base. So Harrah is going to have a lot of people that are going to be military or either former military living in it. So when it comes to politics, Harrah is going to be, again, a little bit on the conservative side. But with that being said, I mean, the people in Harrah are extremely nice. They're friendly. And one of the great things about Harrah is that it has a terrific city park, which is where I'm at right now. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, especially for a town that's just shy of 7,000 people. Again, Harrah is a great community. It's a great choice for people that might be looking for a more conservative place to live. It has good schools, good people. Again, I just think it gets lost in the shuffle. As far as housing, you're going to have your choices here in Harrah. You can live in an older home. There's plenty of those around here. And there's also a lot of new construction of various sizes. Again, if you want something that's going to be an acre, half acre, full acre, you can find that here in Harrah. If you're someone that's looking for just a standard lot of new construction, then you can find that here in Harrah as well. Another thing that might make Harrah extremely attractive for a lot of people, especially people that are going to be working elsewhere in the Oklahoma City metro area, is the Kickapoo Turnpike that comes right through the middle of Harrah. And because of the turnpike there, it is a great choice because people can easily get in and out of Harrah. It's also along I-40. So again, if you're someone that's going to be working at Tinker Air Force Base, you can easily jump on I-40 and head into Harrah or head into Midwest City if you're going to be working at the base. Or if you're someone that's going to be working in downtown Oklahoma City, again, easily jump on I-40 and get to downtown within, 30 minutes, maybe 40 during a rush hour traffic. Harrah's also going to be economical. It's going to be cheaper to live here than it is in maybe Yukon, Mustang, definitely Edmond. So it's going to be a little bit cheaper for people that want that. As far as like restaurants, dining, Harrah's going to have its usual suspects. It's going to have a Sonic. It's going to have a couple other fast food places, a couple of restaurants. But if you want to do a lot of shopping, you want to go to Target, you want to go to a lot of restaurants, that's going to be close to Harrah, then you're probably going to have to go to Midwest City to do that. As far as the vibe in Harrah, it's just a little bit like Jones, I would say. It definitely has a blue collar feel. It also has a connection, of course, to Tinker Air Force Base. You can definitely feel the love for the military here in Harrah. So you're definitely going to get that. Harrah is kind of a microcosm of Oklahoma. I think it's simple. It's a simple place to live. Are there any negatives about living here in Harrah? For some people, it might be a little bit too far out. It's just, if you really want to go do something, you're going to go to downtown Oklahoma City. You're probably not stopping in Midwest City unless you're getting, going to Chili's or getting a quick bite to eat, but if you really want like fine dining and other things, you're going to have to go into Oklahoma City to do that. And so if you live here in Harrah, it's a nice little jaunt. Whereas if you live in, Guthrie or Cashin, like some of those other places, even Arcadia, Jones, you can kind of go into Edmond if you want, or you can go into Northwest Oklahoma City, or you can go into downtown Oklahoma City. But with Harrah, you don't really have that choice. But again, Harrah just has this small town vibe that I think a lot of people are going to find appealing. So if you're looking for a place that's kind of in between, I would say, small Oklahoma town, but also is on the verge of becoming maybe a major suburb, I would say it's Choctaw. Choctaw has a population of 12,000 people, and it's only 16 miles from downtown Oklahoma City. So in my opinion, again, it still has the bones of feeling like a small community, but in all actuality, Choctaw, in my opinion, is on the verge of an explosion. It's still a place where you can buy, a home with, a full acre. You can still buy half acre, quarter acre lots out here in Choctaw. So again, Choctaw is pretty self-sufficient. It's going to have its own Walmart. It's going to have restaurants. A lot of people are moving out here because of the schools. According to niche.com, it is a B+. Choctaw is a great place for people that don't want to move to the western part of Oklahoma County. There are a lot of people that are kind of anti-Piedmont, anti-Edmond, anti-Deer Creek. They don't want that scene. And so they are looking for a place to move, and Choctaw gives them that. It's not too far from Midwest City. We just talked about it in the Harrah video. Midwest City is probably within 7 miles of here. So again, you're gonna have your Targets, you're gonna have your Sam's Club, you're gonna have your restaurants, Tinker Air Force Base in Midwest City. So you're gonna have all that. That's gonna be right on the front doorstep of Choctaw. Choctaw also has great outdoor space. I'm at the public park right now. It's gonna have fantastic walking trails, great playgrounds, disc golf. There's also a golf course around here. Never played it, but I hear it's a pretty simple track. So again, Choctaw is gonna have everything that you would want in a suburb. It's just gonna have that small town community-based feel. And again, as far as housing is concerned, you're gonna have your choices. There's gonna be some older homes here in Choctaw. There's also going to be a lot of new construction in the area. And again, Choctaw is also a place where you can still buy land at a good price. So if you're someone that wants like a house that sits on 3 acres or 4 acres, there are plenty of those around here. And there are a lot of, I would say, wealthy people that kind of live out this way too. You know, there are some really nice homes that are, you know, hidden behind the trees here in Choctaw. There are a lot of people around here that have really nice homes, and they sit on, again, 3 acre, 4 acre lots. You know, they exist out here. Again, Choctaw is a great place. I think it's a little bit under the radar, just like Harrah. A lot of people aren't really moving to Choctaw as much as the Edmonds, the Piedmonts, the Cashans, simply because it's on the east side of the metro. And again, you know, I've said it before, you know, a lot of people think the west side is the best side. And I think for a lot of people that live around here, I think that's just fine by them. Because again, it's a quaint community, but I wouldn't go as far and say that it's like super small town like Harrah. Like I said with Harrah, really is the type of place where if they're making it to the state championship basketball, the town would probably shut down. Choctaw, you know, if they're making a deep playoff run in football or basketball, a lot of people are gonna go to the game, but the whole community is not gonna shut down. Again, Choctaw is a great place for people that want a little land. They want to live in a small town vibe, but again, they kind of want to live in a suburb. And in my opinion, Choctaw is pretty much, again, right on the line. It's right on the cusp of being both a small town, but also being a suburb. And that means Choctaw is also going to be cheaper than places like Edmond. You know, it's going to be cheaper than places like Arcadia. And that's a reason why a lot of people are moving out there. You can get a little bit more bang for your buck, especially if you're thinking about building that dream house by moving out to Choctaw. Now, are there any negatives about living in Choctaw? Look, again, Choctaw has great outdoor space, has a golf course, but if you really want to get into some things, you're probably gonna have to go to Midwest City, which is only like 7 miles from here, so it's not a bad thing. Other negative though about living in Choctaw, again, it's right on the doorstep of Tinker Air Force Base. So you're like 8 to 10 miles from an Air Force Base. And there's a lot of testing of airplanes in this area. So I'm just saying, you know, if you're someone that doesn't like the sound of planes, Choctaw may not be for you. Now, as far as the vibe of Choctaw, you know, again, it's not too far from Harrah, but in my opinion, the vibes are completely different. Both of them are going to feed off Tinker Air Force Base, so there definitely is a feeling of military appreciation. However, Harrah, in my opinion, just comes off maybe a little bit more blue collar. Harrah has more of a strong agricultural history, you know, the grain elevators and things of that nature. Choctaw, in my opinion, although it is, you know, considered more of a rural area, Choctaw also has a strong white collar presence as well. And that makes Choctaw a good place for people that, again, maybe want two different things. You know, you're gonna have, you know, like-minded people, both blue collar and white collar here in Choctaw. So this is where we're gonna stop for today. Again, Harrah, Choctaw, Jones, Arcadia, all great choices if you're thinking about living in a smaller community that's going to be not too far from Oklahoma City. And again, next week, we're going to go to the Tri-City area. We're going to be talking about Tuttle, Newcastle, Blanchard. All right, so make sure you do one thing, and that's like and subscribe. And tune in next week as we break down some other small towns that are going to be not too far from Oklahoma City and great choices, especially if you're looking for land. All right. I'll see you on the next one.